Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, I designed this vessel utilizing the Medusa nuclear pulse engine and the kind of ridiculous, needlessly complex rocket that I used to get into orbit. It took a couple of attempts, but finally got the thing into orbit, figured out how the engine works, and we're going to fly this thing past Res, because we haven't sent anything there yet, so we're going to use this. Unfortunately, one of the solar panels did get damaged during the ascent to orbit, because of the silly autopilot. I'm going to blame it. So one of the panels is not functional, but the other one should be fine and will supply more than enough power to keep this thing operating all the way to its destination. So that's what we're going to work on today, is getting this thing on trajectory to Dres, and then probably work our way towards the Joule rendezvous for the Arbalest. Alright, so I did advance time to the point where this thing is now outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence. So we're ready to start trying to figure out what the maneuver is going to look like to rendezvous with Dres over here. So the easiest way is to just say my maneuver planner. And go with my home and transfer, create the node, let's see what it does. Okay. It is a 2058.6 meter per second delta V maneuver. I don't know how much fine control this particular vehicle has with this particular engine. I mean, because it is pretty much deploying a sail in front of the vehicle, firing a small nuclear bomb down here and detonating it, and using the pressure generated from that nuclear explosion to push the vehicle. So, that will be interesting. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and retract this. I'm going to do a bit of manual time acceleration here. 80 days? Sure, go ahead and warp there. Just gotta keep an eye on the Arbalest, but it should be fine. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and warp all the way to the node. No, we'll stop here for the moment. The one thing that I need to do is keep an eye on the ballista, because it is still processing science here in Kerbin orbit. I still have to figure out how to get this thing serviced and refueled. And I have an idea about how to do that. What I'm probably going to have to do is literally take the vehicle apart and fly just the engine section Or just use the engine section for rendezvous. So... that's a thought. With the Kerbal on 1 station to refuel the engine. The primary fuel tanks. And then re-rendezvous with the rest of the vehicle. And then reconnect it. I mean, it should be fine. Because that'll keep... because the whole thing by itself is just too big and unwieldy to do the kind of maneuvers that are needed at the rendezvous. And I did a test and it ended up crashing into the station. I did a simulation, is what we'll call it. And, yeah. It's just too bulky and unwieldy right now. So, hopefully, breaking it up, servicing it as individual components, and then reassembling it might be the way to go. Alright, so yeah, we're almost to full science. Go ahead and transmit that. All right. Let's go ahead and switch back to our probe. Which one? Which one is it? Interplanetary probe. Got a bunch of junk flying around out here. Nuke pulse testbed. That's the one. So, you know, this thing like does animate to extend, but doesn't actually function. All right. So, let's go ahead and point us at the maneuver node. Oh, actually, I probably don't really need to do that yet, because I got 59 days before we get there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. It seems like you probably wouldn't want to do a maneuver like this with it deployed, because it doesn't seem like that would work. It does seem to be torquing it in strange ways. I do have some RCS, so we'll use that. All right, let's go ahead and deploy it again. And then let's tell it to exit. Yeah, that's because it says it's got 4 days of burn time. No, it does not have 4 days of burn time. Alright, we recreated the node. Alright. I'm going to have to do this manually. I have no idea how long this is going to take. Maybe a couple of minutes. Alright. So, because this is not helpful in the least. Alright, warp there. This is the one thing that would kind of keep me from using this as like the primary propulsion on a more sophisticated ship. 3 hours. Let's get ourselves closer. "20 minutes closer." Let's see, where do I want to start trying to do this? Let's see, node T-minus 4 minutes. Let's get just a little bit closer. Alright, so now we gotta orient to the node. Now, can I actually slow this down at all? Is there any kind of throttling, or is it just on or off? I think it's just on or off. Okay. Retract it. And let's see where we're at. Okay, so they want to do 7.5 meters per second in 2 hours. Okay. I can try that. What I might do is use the RCS thrusters, because the RCS thrusters should be able to achieve 7.5 meters per second of delta V without much trouble. Let's go ahead and shut that engine off. Alright, how much time do I want to give it? Maybe a minute? A minute out from the node? I'm just all doing this by seeing my pants right now. So, if I were to use this engine on an actual, like, production vehicle, if you could call it that, I would probably need to pair it with some other type of propulsion. They could give that fine control. Like maybe the plasma engines or something like that. Well, I was close. Probably needed to give it another minute. But we'll see. Alright, so I want to go ahead and focus Drez. Because once we actually have our encounter is when I want to shut the RCS off. Or maybe some kind of monopropellant end. Well, depends on how big the vehicle is. I'm still thinking about what I might do with this. It's still very much a experimental vehicle. See, the thing is, I don't burn too much of my monopropellant because I might have to do this again. Oh, there's our encounter. This is probably just going to be a flyby. I'm not going to try to establish an orbit or anything. Oop, that's a tad too much. Ooh, okay, hold on. See, the resultant orbit will be almost identical to the current orbit. Alright, let's see. What can I get here? That seems to be about as good as we're gonna get. Alright, turn that off. Alright, how long until we get our interaction? 1 year, 92 days. Alright. How long till the Arbalest reaches its destination? Or, well, reaches the Joule system. Here we are. These reactors are shut down, right? Yes, they are. Okay, good. They will reach in 1 year, 215 days, 2 hours. All right. So this guy will make it to Dres first. Alright, gotta keep switching back to the ballista. Alright. Transmit the science. It's still got a lot to process. Because we even have this stuff. Gravity scan from Duna's lowlands. That stuff actually probably needs to be brought back. Oh, that'll overdo it. Nope, that can go in. That'll overdo it. So there we are. It seems like every 50 days I need to come back here. Or I can just let it fill up, but I really don't want to. Is as far as I would get. I could just warp out maybe like 100 days. That might be more reasonable. So I'm just gonna have to keep doing this bounce back. Well, what I might go ahead and do is actually just take care of this. And then once we're about to the rendezvous with Drez, then will jump back here. Yeah, I think that probably should work. Alright, so I'll be back in a moment. Alright. So we're a lot closer now. And we are, let's see, 143 days from the Drez encounter. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and warp myself all the way there. And make sure I warp on the blue, not the purple, because that would be bad. And then after I do the flyby, then I can head back and transfer the science one more time. Well, transfer the science again, then we'll head on over to the Arbalest and see how that's looking for its mission. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this past the Sphere of Influence transition. Okay, so that's going to get our first batch of science. Temperature scan, keep it. Mystery goo observation, keep it. Material study, keep it. Gravity scan. Yeah, keep that. Atmospheric pressure scan, keep that. Okay. So now, I need to push... What am I looking at here? Where is... There it is. Okay, weird. Oh, it's a tiny little speck right there. Okay, so... I actually am going to need to go ahead and focus it so I can actually see what we got. There's a asteroid over here. Dres is a tiny ball of rock, it would appear. Alright, so... if I were to go ahead and decide, you know what, I am going to go ahead and capture... What are we looking at? $1,200 meters per second. You know, I was thinking flyby. But now I'm thinking capture. Activate the engine. We got plenty of ablative oil. We got plenty of ammunition in the magazine, I guess. So, yeah, that's overkill. The amount of Delta V you'd be talking on this thing is insane. This thing could get anywhere in the Kerbal system. Then it's basically just a flying engine. It's barely got anything else other than the engine. All right, so I'm gonna give this about a minute's worth. Alright, 5 hours. Yeah, the gravity scan is going to keep bugging me. $37.36. I'm going to bring this down to about a minute out. I don't think we need to be that precise here. I just need to capture and bring the two minutes, 1 minute. There we go. All right, deploy it. And start the fireworks. that is a close approach. But it should actually be fine. 13,000 meters? Yeah, that should work perfectly well. Alright, in fact, let's go ahead and warp on over there. Because then we should get close approach science. Oh, I have electric charge. There we go. Temperature scan, mystery goo observation, material study, gravity scan, atmospheric pressure scan. And one could kind of imagine that we would have cameras on here that will be taking pictures of the surface in preparation for a potential manned landing mission, which we may be doing eventually. Alright, so I want to point this guy prograde. And then push us to escape. Okay, so there we go. Deploy it. And we're now escaping. All right. So once that guy escapes, actually, let's go ahead and warp to the escape. This is going to be 3 days. It's going to take a little bit, because we can only warp so quickly at such low altitude. Alright, let's get out of the sphere of influence. Alright, now what I want to do is set a transfer orbit or planet transfer to Kerbal. $1,700 meters per second right now. That doesn't seem right. No, it's not gonna go. Alright, what I might have to do is first match planes. It'll take 3 years, 26 days, and 3 hours to match planes. That's fine. We'll leave it there for now. And then what we'll do is I'll head back over to here. First off, actually, we'll go to the moon because I almost forgot about the station. Because this also has a science lab that needs to process and so we need to get that all transferred. All right, how much you got? 216. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. This is the big resupply vehicle that I brought out here. Let's see. Supplies. 15,188. This is the one. All right, push that out. Do we still have fertilizer here? That's a question. No, we have no fertilizer, so the actual hydroponics bay isn't running. I could convert some fertilizer, but I'd have to go on a mining trip for that. Not going to do that right now. Alright, switch over to the ballista. Let's see what we've got on board. 494. Yep, go ahead and transmit it. Done. 1,300 data still there to be processed. Let's see, I can push that through. Can't push that one, can't push that one, or that one, or that one, or that one. Okay. So, I think what we're going to do for the rest of the episode is go back to the Space Center. So I'm thinking that we're going to start working on the Arbalest's mission and arrival at Joule next episode. For the rest of this episode, I'm going to work on putting together some ideas or experimenting with some things to see what the next, like, manned vehicle design might be. Now that we have all kinds of new tech available. I have 3,737.3 37373 science. Exotic solar I definitely want. And specialized radiators I definitely want. Experimental electrics. Can't afford that yet. That gets me... yeah, radioisotope, thermoelectric generators, and some bigger battery packs. Experimental science. These are basically mining and resource converters. Specialized plasma. Not quite there yet, but we still have a lot of stuff to process here. That gets me nothing. I could do heavy command modules. Grab it, sure. Specialized command modules. Field science. What do we have here? Tow bar. Rover autopilot. External command seat. Rover parts. Basically a bunch of rover parts. And some rotors. I was kind of thinking of experimenting with a prop-driven aircraft for use on Eve. I'm still not entirely sure if that will work, but it's something I'm thinking about. I guess I can start grabbing some actuators. Subsonic flight, there's actually nothing in here. So that's probably the best I can do for the moment. Until I get more science. Alright, so... for the next, like, manned vehicle, crewed vehicle, what I would want to do is I would want to make it big. So, if we're going to go big... there's this. Habitat ring. that's what it would look like fully retracted. But what I might want to do first is to try to figure out what the vehicle might look like, and then I'd have to break it down into individual parts that can be lifted. So my thought would be to have multiple propulsion systems with this vehicle that could be used for different purposes. Like those Medusa nuclear pulse engines would be really nice for just kind of chunking through large delta V maneuvers. And then using like the magnetoplasma dynamic engines for kind of more fine maneuvering. You know, kind of get close with the nuclear pulse engines and then, you know, fine-tune the rest of the maneuver with the other engines. Kind of idea there. The thought. So, I haven't tried the Orion engine, which is the Orion engine. That's a big honking engine. So is this thing. Because the Orion drive, what that is designed to do is drop the stuff out here and detonate. Maybe I would put a Medusa on front. Is that actually inside the bay? No, it's not. And the thought would be, would I want to try to make it like more realistic? Because, you know, this thing's going to be detonating nuclear bombs. See, what we would probably do is we would throw this guy here. Probably with the bigger payload. Those are the 500s. Those are the 1000s. 5,000 of the 1000s. I think the only real difference is basically how quickly you would accelerate. It's a thought. Well, we're looking at 176 tons. But this thing doesn't have any kind of control center, so no way to pilot the thing. So I don't think this has like an actual upper mount. White. Doesn't seem to be affecting anything. See, that's an observation window. Station Control Center. They would still try to consider it as if it were a station. But that would be able to command the whole system. You'd be able to fly it. And then, of course, you'd probably want... Yeah, because this whole thing would probably be an attached component. You'd bring that up there and dock that on. And it might need to go into like a specialized mechanism that would maneuver it into place, dock it on, and then detach from it. Alright, and then life support, we'd have that. Science. No, there's science. I need the aquaculture module, the mobile processing bay. And then that would have all the scientific instruments attached to it. We would need a docking system of some description. Be a tad small. That's a tad too large. Let's find an adapter for that. See, the thing is, would I be able to spinner modular truss adapter? Oh, this is the one you'd want to use. Yeah, like that. with the solid core. Maybe, maybe not. Pressurized crew tube. Do we have any kind of like this? That's of a larger pressurized radial attachment module. No, because that doesn't have an attachment point. No, that's what you'd be looking for. Like that. And then what you might do with this is throw docking adapters on there. Yeah, that would work, I think. And then you could do your adapters down here. I would prefer to use the octagirder if I could. But I would need a 3.75 to 2.5 adapter. That one would work. Is there a better one? That one's not large enough. Thrust plate, no. This one? That one works. And then you could use this. And then this. Or save this. And then one of these. And then another one of those. No, that's not what we're looking for. that's what we will be looking for. And then your standard size docking port. And then down to the other end is you throw in your nuclear, your reactor, your lithium tanks, and your plasma engines. Now this would not be able to air brake either. And it would need a lot of RCS or some really, really serious reaction wheels to make that work. Well, it's a thought. What I might do is call this ultimate vessel proof of concept. I'll have to refine this down a bit more. Maybe make some modifications. But yeah, we'll save that for now. This, I definitely want to use this. I think the nuclear pulse drive is the way to go for large delta V maneuvers. So I'm just not quite sure yet if I want to just do this stacked system or try to come up with something else. And what that something else would be, not sure. So what I'll do is I'll continue to work on this, maybe go through a couple more iterations on my own and see if there's anything else that I want to change here. Not so sure about just stacking everything. But for next episode, I believe we're going to be just going through the Joule mission. And seeing how that all goes, how much of that we're able to get done. And yeah, this is kind of the next plan in the pipe, though. So we'll see what we can get to there. Alright, but for now, we'll stop here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you next time.